Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 190 of my modded Factorio playthrough. On this episode, we are going to upgrade the solar farm. Enjoy. See, how have the nanobots done? Yeah, they're getting there, but can also help them the rest of the way. Well, kind of. I was like, I want to replace them in place, but with the way this is set up, that might not be very possible. Let's just do what we can for now. We might have serious power problems if we do this, but let's take it to here. Might have to start the process by hand. We do have some in our inventory, and looks like some unclaimed area. Whoa. Well, spiders are still active. No, they're trying to swim. Looks like it's holding out. Oh yeah, luckily using the nanobots for this, it's fairly easy because it's putting everything in the junk inventory. And exposing all of the ground that wasn't covered by the initial pass of concrete. Well, if that's the case, I guess I'm going to need concrete. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. How well it fits with the current setup here. Might have to move things around a little bit, but let's see. Let's put it close enough to where we might be able to drive through there if we need to. In fact, how close was the other set? Kind of like this. So we can do that and use up all of the panels in the inventory at least. Which will not take very long. Hey, the robots got here. That's good to see. It's probably using up most of our construction bots. Well, no, not really. They've just got a long way to travel. Of course, they run out of power and have to go back there. Oh well, eventually we'll have coverage everywhere. It's nice to have help. There we go, all cleaned up. And that should be a good beachhead right there for the bot network to expand. See, we do want to make sure, because it's about to be daytime, that these old panels are always connected to the new ones. Because it needs to go through this logic right here. Okay. The swarm of bots, but there we go. I was thinking we should see our giant swarm of tier 2 panels. And here they are. And probably a bunch of logistics bots too, trying to get down here to remove our inventory. Might have been them and I stepped out of the network. It's kind of weird how they're choosing to charge at the ports. There must have been a big burst of robots. And some of them chose the charge pad, but some of them decided to wait for the robo chest, and that's why they're taking so long. Meanwhile, the accumulators never actually went down. I think because we had this huge supply of fuel blocks that is still being supplied, so that has been more than enough so far. Hey, it looks like the first bots are getting here with the new solar panels. I kind of want to stay standing here in the logistics zone to make sure that the bots don't turn around, because I've got all these solar panels here. Looks like a robot crashed right there. We definitely need to be making those repair packs. It's kind of cool how that mod works, where having robots flying over you is not just a worryless thing, to where they can actually crash and they can actually break things. Which makes sense because they are flying. Hey, logistics bots are finally getting here. Probably should leave a few robo chests here, just so bots have a place to park for this construction task here. And here they are. Well, the zone is starting to expand. Though I noticed something seems to have connected. Because everything is on the network here when it really shouldn't be. That the solar panels should be kept separate. And there it is. All those connections on the edge there. I don't think we necessarily need those. I think it works just fine going the long way around for power. There we go. Now it should just be the panels. That's just to allow extra space in the accumulators for byproducts to burn. Yep, and here comes the next wave of construction. Well, we're doing fine so far. Let's just clear out more. And the bots are right here to help. Okay, character movement speed is done. Any other character upgrades? Yeah, kinda. One more. Crafting speed. Might as well get it. I noticed that bots are doing a lot of running out of power. Like running down here because they're trying to cut the gap, but they don't have enough power. Same as here to a certain extent as well, and up there. So, should probably try to do something about that so the bots are faster at their tasks. So let's do some power pulls straight down. There we go. That line should help quite a bit. Well, eventually I want the entire base to be covered with these things, but it's kind of a lot of space right now. The robots do like to jump the gap there. There's not much I can do about that since that's a lot of water. I can try to help them, though, by giving them lots of charge pads to use. Fortunately, it's kind of problematic. With all the power poles going in very specific positions, but there we go. That should be a bunch of charge pads. It looks like the shortcut is being built. There is a radar blank space, which we can kind of cover. With something like this. Of course, it's in the middle of nowhere, but that should help a bit. And now the robot shortcut is complete there. Which does look like it's helping. Because Because then all these guys run out of power right about there. And they have to run in. Of course, having more charge pads would be better, but I kind of don't want to have an excessive amount of them just all over the place. And these are construction bots, so it is okay for construction bots to be held up for a period of time because they operate in bursts. And they charge quite quickly so long as they have power. It's when they run out of power and they're moving very slowly that the charge pads become very insufficient. See, they do get through there eventually. Then the line goes there, and now they have more nearby charge pads. And now they're staggered because of the previous charging event. So they keep moving down, and then there'll be charge pads over there. But then I think the problem happens when they try to cut across here. So we'll probably want to watch them. And see where they slow down, and put some charge pads there too. Just for a construction task, I don't think I'd do this, but pretty much anything that gets constructed down here, these robots are going to take this path, so it's worth getting it ironed out ahead of time. Let's see where they run out of power at. Somewhere around here. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world just to put a big old charge pad spot right here. With lots of stuff. There we go. In fact, we probably could put even more here. Put them like that. Then we can put more in the corners. We do need to get the logistics zone here. And there they go, they're already starting to use it. So now that those bots have used it, we kind of want to follow them to see where they go to run out of power. So the guys that run out here are the ones that didn't use the charge point to begin with. But these are the ones that used it. So where are they going to run out? Is it somewhere over here? Yep. Okay. Well, let's put another one in here. I'll try to get this next to the other logistic zones. Well, they're getting close to finishing up their task. And lots of them are parking. But I have the feeling this isn't quite enough of a charge zone. Well, we do have a relative idea of how far they'd have to go. It's about the width from top to bottom of screen, so if they're going straight down, oh, it looks like they would need it right about there. Let's get a copy of this and see if putting it like right here will help. Well, they're all flying by here, which seems like good news. Yes, they perhaps would have enjoyed having this charge pad here. Regardless, when they get up here, they should run out of power and then decide to use this one. Yep. And there they go. But that has a very high capacity. So it's more than enough for all the bots. And then they come up through here. Run out of power, and then they should want to use this one. So you could definitely control the paths the bots like to take based on where you put all of the charge pads. Yep. Of course, those ones keep going. They might change their mind. But, that's working well. I wonder how much of our power is going towards bots these days. Actually, not too bad. About 50 megawatts or so. That definitely seemed like it went pretty fast, because they cleared that out real fast. Let's see, we do have an error here. No logistics network available. I see, did they get stuck? They might have. On the wrong network. Well, I'll just pick this whole thing up, because we're going to replace it. We should have construction bots as a trash slot. Looks like we don't. So anytime we're picking up either bot types, we definitely don't want to have them anymore. So that way the robots will come and pick them up. But that's looking good. It's about to be nighttime again, so it'll probably be safe to pick up the rest of the panels. But I kind of want to see how the new setup helps with all the bots. See, we might want to put a giant charge pad right here, but at this point it probably won't matter because they still have to wait to get in the robo chest to begin with. So we have 5 of these on each side. I think we said we wanted to have 13 to match, so to double it would be 26. Well, if that's the case, then we can pick up everything. And power is doing okay. Looks like we probably burnt through our byproducts. Is that correct? Yeah, pretty much. So now we're just running on solar power again. Okay. Well, if this is 10 of them, we should be able to copy the whole thing and get 20 of them. There we go. See, based on the distance some of these bots have to travel, it might be nice to them to place another one, like over here. And I'll just place them manually so they get built faster. And here they come. Let's see, when they come up here, they should run out of power. Yep. And, looks like they're deciding on the small ones, but I guess that makes sense. At least all these ones took the better pad. Let's see, power is limited right now. Why is that? Because it was, just temporarily connected, I think. It might help to place a massive charge pad somewhere around here. Maybe like up here. And let's put another one on the corner up here. Basically anywhere where bots gather is a good place to put one of these. But the line of bots is starting to look a lot more controlled than it was. I'm surprised we've been able to keep up with all these solar panels here. And it's doing the best it can. We're basically at 0 here. But it looks like they're successfully dropping off the old panels, which is good. It means we're reusing what we can. Seems like it might be nice to have a charge pad right here too. They're definitely enjoying that one. From both directions. We've got a bottleneck here. So there's yet another charge pad. Looks like we're mostly surviving the night okay. Let's double check on our junk warehouse and make sure there's nothing weird in there. Well, those solar panels shouldn't be there. And they're getting placed back in there. Looks like some of them did get placed correctly, but I wonder if it's just a space thing. Where there's perhaps not enough space in here for all of them. Because the other ones are placing them in the right chest. Look at that. Wow. Well, seems to be doing its job. Well, we're getting pretty low on power. In fact, it's going down quite quickly. Because we're out of byproducts. So at some point, these wood burners should turn on. Don't know exactly what we had this set at originally. It might be around 10% or so. No jetpack fuel. Sadness. Looks like we're burning some byproducts now, so it's not as much of a problem, but still. It's going down. Without the jetpack, I feel so naked. I want to go fast. Where's the nearest fuel? Why isn't there any here either? Well, that has definitely helped the throughput of bots. They are moving in mostly straight lines now, rather than fighting for charge ports. Finally some fuel. Might want to put one more charge port thing over here. So we'll need about 6 more of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up to about here seems good. Let's just make sure there's nothing in the way here. And for now, we can place these around our charge ports. Actually, there's one thing we can do. Because this warehouse has so much wood in it, I think we're at the point where the wood is actually on the network, so we can just turn this into a storage warehouse and dump all the wood there. Which is what we're going to start to see as we get the network expanded more and more. We can start upgrading things. So now we should be able to pick up all the wood in here, assuming we had space in our inventory for it. And then it'll get put in our junk inventory. And hopefully taken somewhere else. But actually every single logistic robot is being used right now. So we might have to wait a little bit. Look at all that wood. Just going everywhere. That's the thing about bots, though, is they'll eventually get to where they need to go. And I think, basically they've more or less caught up with the solar panels. I think what they're just waiting on now is the solar panels to actually be produced, which takes a period of time, especially for the large ones. Wow, look at all that power the robots are using. Enough to the point where we're actually still using the accumulators a little bit. But I guess that kind of makes sense because the sun just went down. I was thinking, even in the middle of the day, we're using accumulators, but no, that's because it's night. That's kind of bad then if the sun went down and we didn't even fill up the accumulators. Well, I don't think we're going to make it to the daytime. So let's cancel that research for now. And hopefully get some of our power back. I think we're just using a lot of robot power right now because we're moving all this wood down here, which is taking time. And all of our logistics robots. But there is another source of power that we can use that we really haven't been using yet, and that is using the nitric acid. Because the nitric acid goes into these rocket boosters, which we have a ton of, and at the time I didn't want to use any of it because we didn't have that much nitric acid, but now we're actually overloaded. Which means that anything that produces the nitric acid components, which I think is mainly rubite, we are clarifying it away. So we're actually leaving some power on the table here by doing that. So we need to create another little power plant down here for the rocket boosters. I say down here rather than up there to save the robots from having to move all the power up there, but down here might not be the best idea either, just because there's no water nearby. We could put it right here, but it would get in the way of expansion for all of these electrolyzers. So I don't know, perhaps we should move them then. Guess it depends on how many of them we would produce. Well, we can kind of figure that out. Just assuming this is a balanced setup, which it's probably fairly close. It means at most we'd only be producing 3 boosters a second. And hopefully we have some power calculated already. Kinda. So if we switch this to rocket boosters, let's see, to build a set of 1 would run through 10 rocket boosters. And right now we're doing them in sets of 2, I believe. So this should be, yeah, like 40. So actually, we probably could expand it fairly easily. Just the question is where. I don't know. It is kind of annoying putting it up here, but this is where all of the other power producing items are, so perhaps we should put it up there as well. All the robots are coming to try to help now. Although one problem of building the power generation over here is the logic, because we wouldn't want to burn all of the rocket boosters, just the excess. And the problem is there no radar over there? Or is it we're out of power? Yeah, we're out of power. That's unfortunate. Well, not much you can do about that. Just wait for the sun to come up. Of course, all the robots are about to get very sad. And there they go. Waiting for that power that will not come. But, as I was saying, that if we put the power generation over here for the rocket boosters, we'd want the logic to move all the way up there as well, because let's see, if we do that, that might help. We are producing some extra nitric acid through, I think it's using catalyst right here. I'm not sure if this is the exact spot that does it, but somewhere around here we've got a method to produce extra nitric acid, assuming we run out from making it through byproducts. We only want to use the extra rocket boosters as a result of the excess. And of course you can't see because power is gone. But right now we have about 50,000, and that's the maximum, so we're just wasting the rest of it right now to save ourselves having to have a giant line running through the whole base like we have here. And boom. We probably want to just burn those byproducts right next to where they're being made. And that's probably going to have to wait until morning so the bots can actually get down there. Because there's nothing left. The factory is at a standstill, all zeros. And charging all of these bots and their roboports is going to take forever. Well, this will be a good test of the base because it should have been set up to where even if we completely run out of power, that when we get it back, the base should start up without us having to do anything special to it. So I guess we will find out if that's how it still works. I might want to make that water through ground water bores rather than the traditional way. But let's see. How am I supposed to select something if I don't know what it is? Is it even going to let me do it? Nope. Well, we still have power. It's just the base doesn't. Let's see, which direction are we going to want it? Probably this way. So I think what we want is all of this. So it'll be somewhere over here, and it looks like the boosters are being made up there. So let's just plop it in, I don't know, somewhere in here. Of course, if we're going to want robots to build this, we need to give them a path. Well, actually, the sun is coming up now. So as it does, the base should catch up and start operating correctly. Yeah, and looks like in the beginning it's definitely all charge pads taking all the power. Yeah, because our power requirement right now is 3.1 gigawatts, and that's all charge pads. But they should start to catch up. And there we go. Looks like everything caught up. Still using quite a bit of power, gigawatt, but it's probably just the factory trying to catch up here. And of course charge all the accumulators. So, look at that. The base survived just fine. So, all of the logic that's in place is working. Okay, so we need to get bots here. Probably the easiest way is just to kind of follow this road here. And there we go, that gets them all connected. So now as a result, they should be working their way down here. Wait, is that one not connected? Seems like it is not. Well, there you go. Wait, that one isn't either. There we go. Actually, it seems like placing these kind of interrupts the circuit lines. I don't know if that really matters, if that's just a visual thing, or if it actually does have some kind of impact, but... Well, the robots are here, so I guess it expands at least this far. And it looks like they finished. So we can get rid of these little charge ports and put the last ones in. Shallow water. Well, that's unfortunate, because I don't think the robots have access to landfill yet. Okay. And that should do it for all of our power. It should be quite a bit. We're certainly building up accumulator charge. Hopefully robots are on their way down here. Yeah, I imagine it's these guys. It is. Alright, well, let's put a splitter in here with priority to the right, so it's only extras that go this way. Then we're probably going to have to do some jumping over of buildings. But it works just fine. And we'll want the belt here to be controlled by the status of our acids, and it looks like we already have a control wire coming up here anyway for that purpose. Looks like it's controlling this right here. So we have to have, yeah, less than the 2,000 boosters and more than 40,000 sodium nitrate. Well, in that case, we can just hook this up and we'll use the same logic. But it simply needs to be more than 40,000. We don't need to worry about that other number. As long as it is, it can output. Oh, but this needs to be sodium nitrate for the correct functionality. There we go. So as long as we have an excess of that, it will send it out, just to prevent us from clarifying it and get some free power. And we need to set up this correctly. We did have a transformer right here to make sure that the inserters always get power first. So we probably want the same thing here. And probably a small one is fine. And then we'll want some kind of logic similar to what was done over here to make sure that we aren't keeping these on the network all the time, just so the power report is as accurate as possible, rather than having a bunch of steam engines that are connected but not running because they don't have their byproducts. It just helps understand the network a little better, because when you have all these byproduct burners, you might be under the impression that you have a whole bunch of production that you really don't, because they're just connected to the network but doing nothing. And they need a bunch of pipes. Well, I can supply that temporarily. Although they're probably not that far away. Yeah, they're very close to where the pipes are actually being produced already. So, let's just expand this a little bit so now they have access to pipes. Well, this is a little more of a mess, but we'll put the storage chest down here for the relevant pipe types. And the others can be passive providers. So now, yep, there come the robots. They should be grabbing pipes. Which means we can also put pipes in our inventory. Let's see, didn't quite get everything connected in here, so let's just get all that. Then we need water. 2,500 of it. It'd be kind of annoying to do pump jacks, but it'd probably be pretty difficult to get the full flow of water from all the way down here, up there, even all the way over here. Like, it's a really bad idea to put a maximum consumption of water item, like a power plant, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we probably just want to do the pump jacks here. And it actually only requires 3. Of course, it's going to be about 2 megawatts worth of power. But this thing will put out 108, so I guess we're losing about 2% of the output to put it here. It's kind of annoying, but it'll work fine. I'll put a couple of them on each side. Actually, and I think it'll work fine here, because they need to be going through this guy right here, and because of that power output, I guess it means we need the bigger one, which we don't have the resources for. So night is upon us. The accumulators are basically charged. That's good. Okay, with that, most of it should be hooked up. It looks like another power pole needs to get down here, which is probably going to take forever. Or is that it right there? Yep. Hey, solar panels are done too. Looking good. Well, let's hook this up. It's probably going to use a ton of power building up heat. But it'll be a nice separate source of power. But, oh yes, we actually need to hook this logic up to something. Just hook it up, let it go straight through. And just hook this up to rocket boosters. basically we have to have at least 100 in here for it to turn on. And that might take a while because of heat. It's also a good way of getting rid of excess hydrogen, too. I wonder if all this hydrogen here has been connected. I don't think it has. But maybe it has. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it has. It is integrated into the network. We can take advantage of all of that. I wonder if this guy can use the productivity modules. That produces 1.5 and needs 1.5. And that produces 6. And that still works fine. So that'll help out not using quite as much of our iron. I wonder if you can put productivity modules in here. Aw, it doesn't look like it. Oh well. So now we should be gradually using our nitric acid and also the sodium nitrate. And that is heating up. Looking good. I wonder if we can turn the research back on now. And that's the end of this episode. On the next one, we are going to work on building better turrets and upgrade our wall. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.